What's up, YouTube? Let's get this stream rolling. Let's see. Excellent condition. Wi-Fi looks good. We look connected. Got a couple people on right off the bat. What's up? What's up? Let's get the link sent out to the boys and girls in Telegram. Throw this in there as well. Awesome, awesome. Yep, guys should be able to hear me too. That's cool. Jumping on a little bit early. What time is it? 1:56 p.m. Going to be looking at Nasdaq today. We're trading the big boy today. We're going to see what we can do. Had some really nice trades this morning on Nasdaq after a really boring week before this. So happy that we made up for some losses. Really cleaned up, turned the whole week pretty positive. So that's always nice when that happens. Just gotta stay patient for it. Best part. Welcome, Zach. I've been waiting for you. Yeah, man. All good, man. All good. And I'm a little bit early, so you know we're good to go. Let me get rid of this. Cool. I'm in the U.S., man. Someone said, where are you from? I am in the U.S., my brother. I'll leave it at that so you guys don't come knocking on my door, bothering me and my family. Nah. I've gave more details in the past, but I probably shouldn't just for safety's sake. But what's up? If you're jumping in, why am I getting warned from YouTube? I don't know, man. I might get kicked off of YouTube one day. This one's not even like a connection warning. I don't know why it does that. From India. Yeah, man. Welcome from India. Had some people from South Africa. I got some guys from Australia that I was working with. A couple different guys from Africa, actually. Older gentleman from, not really older gentleman, but a gentleman that was in Thailand. I can't remember exactly where he's from beforehand, but yeah, all over the world. It's really interesting the way this, YouTube and social media and, just marketing online. If you keep it open, you get people from all over the place. So I love that, man. No discrimination on my part. I'm like the markets, man. The markets don't discriminate. They don't care what color you are, what religion you are, what sex you are, really anything about you. They don't care. They're just going to treat you harshly. So I'm the same way. No discrimination. Doesn't matter to me what you look like, where you're from, how much money you make, your background, your history. None of it matters, man. It's just really raw. That's how it works. So I'll give you guys, if you got questions, ask them in the chat. Can I win the giveaway? Yeah, you can win the giveaway. This firm, I actually looked because I know a handful of people were from India. I don't think they have any issues with India, but I'm going to not pick it based on anything other than random in the comments. A bunch of people message me, I hope I win. Please let me win. It's random, guys. So it's going to be just a random pick from the comments. If you have posted on your story and followed all the instructions, you got a good shot of winning because there's not that many people that are entered to win this thing. So I'll let you know what I got going on today. Again, if you got questions, ask them in the chat. I'll yap about trading all day. Try to answer to the best I can. If I don't know something, I'll let you know I don't know it, and we'll figure it out together maybe. So we are looking at NQ, NASDAQ. This would be NAS 100 if you're looking at CFDs. Sorry, I just got to mute something. Someone's blowing me up for no reason. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what sparked it. I wanted to jump over to NASDAQ today. Dow was just not it for me this morning. They were both moving a little bit differently. We had Dow had the big push up on news this morning from both of them. We had, I gotta take this off. We have Dow that opened up and really pushed down a whole lot harder. Really fell off, bottom fell off, traded below session low, pre-market session low, down into this zone that we have marked out, and then started to trail back up. NASDAQ, again, I just, for whatever reason, was looking at NASDAQ, like the price action a little bit better. We did stage a pullback, but that quickly reversed and pushed up. So I got a couple sells on the way down that worked out really, really nicely. Here was the news push up. It kind of trailed here. I was waiting to see if it just broke ahead and looked like it was going to run. We didn't get that. We kind of consolidated here. We could see just increasing, candle closures to the downside. The wicks are all up here, the high wicks. So, that was that. Pullback was right here, right after. This was kind of a big wick down. Maybe that was going to be the push up. We didn't get that. Sat around here, and then we started to, get some momentum to the downside. So this worked out really nicely. And then really once we came up here, I got long on it. It was pretty aggressive. Sometimes this works out well. Sometimes, you can definitely be on the wrong side of the market more than once, and it gets frustrating. But we put out a whole bunch of resistance right here, right around the VWAP line at the time. Probably looked a little different than this as it was printing. And then we started to break up, so got long. I didn't ride it all the way here. It could have been a much bigger day for me, but I wasn't sure if this was just going to be, the quick pop back up to this area and then sell back off. But it hasn't been that so far. As you can see, we're running. So I'm kind of watching this. That's why I wanted to jump on. I didn't want to be messing with getting set up with YouTube later on today. So far, pushed back up. Met with some resistance right here, kind of below this area. Here was the test, pull back, and then nice push up. With this candle, we had a nice wick down that kind of cleared out what would have been a gap right here. So the next thing I'm looking at on this, if I'm going to get a trade, I know we got this massive move up, but I'm looking at this as a wide open, gap area. You call it an imbalance, you call it a fair value gap. I don't like to use any kind of I say that all the time, but I just use whatever term that I'm used to, however I've been taught or however I've learned. I say wide open price action just to describe what I'm looking at on the chart. Some people call it a gap, an imbalance between buyers and sellers that would cause a big move up without trading back and forth above different levels of price. When this occurs, price likes to come back down and tap into it. Like we saw here with this big news move, we saw on Dow, price likes to come back across this area, especially on low time frames. Higher time frame stuff, gaps like that aren't always, this is not a gap in the traditional sense, like a gap in the market, in the stock market, an imbalance we could call it. But yeah, these like to get filled. So I don't know if we're going to see that. That's what I thought was going to happen here, which is why I got a little bit antsy to jump on and start watching. Like I was expecting maybe we're going to get a pretty nice pullback here. Could have been quick with some volume for a sell and then flip to longs. But this thing's kind of just running. So, towards the end of the day, like we say, I got 2 hours left in the session, NYSE session. This could continue. It's just, crawl all the way up north. It may, want to reverse correct, come back down towards this high, come back down towards, the high volume area of the day. But I'm looking for this area right here to be tested. Really just the highs of this, that was the area I was looking. So, kind of going to see what we get from here. If I get the more zoomed out view, I labeled these today. I wanted to get the open and close of prior day. This is the daily candle wick, bottom wick, the open, which was the high, and the close of that daily candle. These can be important levels to pay attention to. They just give you some reference as well. When I'm on the 5 minute and the 1 minute, and you guys might find this too, it's really easy to get just lost in the sauce, which is a dumb way of saying you're so zoomed in, you don't have any frame of reference as to where price is within the higher time frame structure. There's market structure that forms all across these time frames. Obviously, it's respected on different time frames, so it can help to have an understanding of where you are in that market structure. As you can see, outside of the three tools I have, I don't have a lot on my charts. I literally just have horizontal zones. This is one vertical line to tell me where the open is. NYSE open at 9:30. I don't like a lot of my charts. I like to keep it really, really simple, really, really clean. But again, a little bit of marking to tell me where I am prior day, high and low. I was pretty much just marking out prior day high and low. Figured I would start paying attention to the closes. Do that sometimes as well. So I like that. I like that marking. This way you guys can also see where we're at. So yeah, looking at the 15-minute, again, we're coming all the way up to Wednesday's high, yesterday's high. If we start to get above that with some momentum, we're headed back up towards this zone here. Again, I got my zone at the area of high volume. The highs would be right up here. I'll probably just draw that out so I can have a frame of reference. If we start to come back down, maybe we get some reaction here at the open at this area of price action. Maybe we come all the way back down. We get some reaction here. But, I'm just going to try to get on the right side of price action and market structure. Again, this is some momentum, and it really hasn't slowed down. We had a little bit cleaner, break and retest style of market structure here. Not so much, right? This didn't pull all the way back down to this area. Just tapped here with a wick and then pushed up. So a lot of strength out of NASDAQ and the Dow, this late. I'm only going to watch one at a time. I'm paying attention to what's going on both just so I have a frame of reference. But we're going to look at NASDAQ and see what we get for the rest of the day. Again, kind of hard to just jump in on a buy here and say it's going up, so I'm going to buy. You can do that, throw a stop right below a prior candle or two. I'm not going to be that aggressive with jumping in on the trend. I'm going to watch the 5-minute and the 1-minute and kind of see what we get. Again, I'm going to see what happens right up at this zone here, prior day high. Don't know if this correlates too much with other price action. Yeah, it does. We've got quite a bit of consolidation, some areas that it was tested back and forth. Again, above that, this is kind of another area that I might want to pay attention to. Just looking at highs and lows, tops and bottoms, areas that price has pushed off from with some serious momentum. But, realistically, it's up here. This is the next area. If we're just looking left, that we're going to hit the first area. I have to look through this to get to, this area here. So that's kind of where we're at. Yeah, man, a lot of strength out of NASDAQ late in the day. So we'll see what we get. Can I? Yeah. Yes, you can win from India. Gold analysis. Yeah, we can look at gold, man. I'm not a gold trader, but I'll look at the chart with you while we're hanging out. No, counts. It's a it's a new account. If you went to this company and bought a new account, so you'd be faced with a one-step challenge. It's going to be the eval. Not working with anything like HFT funded. BS. It's just not legit, and that's the deal with that. What's your trading style? I'm new here. If I had to describe it, man, it's discretionary, meaning I don't have black and white rules. I'm using my discretion, my intuition, my experience, and the main way I'm trading is off of price action and market structure. I do use volume. You can see by the few volume tools I have on my chart. I will trade with the trend as best as I can. The short-term trend that I'm looking at, the immediate trend, I'm going to follow price action, meaning highs, lows, areas where price looks like it may break and retest, areas where there seems to be imbalances in buyers and sellers, using, again, price action, market structure, and a bit of volume mixed in. And that's pretty much it. Super, super simple style of trading. Really bare bones, no special indicators, no magic, confluences that I take into account. Try to get on the right side of the market, try to capture a positive risk to reward. I do try to trade with multiple contracts, so I have the opportunity to scale in and out. If I'm on NASDAQ, maybe I'm trading with one, just depends on how volatile the market is and how big of a stop loss I have to put. But it's a really bare bones, simple market structure, price action trading. I'm leveraging trend. I'm leveraging what you could call support and resistance, supply and demand. I'm paying attention to, again, areas of consolidation and areas of big impulsive movements. I don't like to use any fancy terms for this stuff because I'm not really utilizing any concept that should be credited to a specific deal outside of just really bare bones technical analysis. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. Again, I try to describe what I'm doing, what I'm seeing, how I'm interpreting price action and market structure. It's fairly consistent day to day. Again, the market's going to be different. The volatility is going to be different. The structure is going to be different every day. So I adapt a little bit, but you'll see most consistencies, in my trading, the way I'm entering, the way I'm placing stops, that type of stuff. I'll say I'm going to be a little aggressive if we start to get some trades on this account. This is an eval account, like I've been talking about. I've been testing with a bunch of different futures prop firms to be able to do giveaways, to be able to try to trade myself and leverage other people's money, but definitely to be able to recommend to you guys, to discuss with you guys. And it's really what the people want to see and what they want to trade. Everybody wants to be able to trade a large amount of capital, so this is the pathway to doing so. So I've got to be able to adapt and function in that environment. So I've tailored a lot of my risk management, my trading style, to apply to, at least recently, to apply to these, funded futures accounts. There's, drawdown rules. There's a lot of different risk management rules you got to follow. Not every strategy, is going to work within those constraints. So, was not too much of a change for the way that I typically trade, but it's a little bit tighter stops, a little bit more aggressive on entries. Targeting a positive risk to reward, taking probably a lower win rate, more stop outs because of the nice tight stops, but less of that initial risk per trade on the way to nice wins. So that is the deal. So gold analysis, man. Let's look at how about not in futures, or how about we just look at all and we go, that's why I was doing it. If you got a broker that you want me to look at, I could look at it, but I'm just going to look on like spot gold, forex.com is the one, probably Pepperstone be a big one. Remove drawings. Let's go ahead and take off what I do have on this chart. Since I'm looking at this, man, if you're still on here, are you trading, higher time frames? You want to like a top-down analysis? We want to look at, you want to look at the 1 minute. You could tell me what you want to look at, and I'll give you, just a baseline analysis. But I'll start from how I really just would function doing this myself. So probably look at the 4 hour first. I've really zoomed out. This is, multiple years of data. It's about as much information as I need right now. Let's start on the daily. Yeah, so pretty obvious, massive trend up, right? So that's going to be, piece of information number one. Massive trend up overall over multiple years. And recently on the daily, huge push up. I mean, just an absolute tear that gold is on. As we drop down to the lower time frames, looking at the 4 hour, super strong bullish move. Really, really like pushing up. It's not pulling back very hard at all. You're not getting even taps of highs as they break in the uptrend, maybe just a hair, but really no big pullbacks outside of, stuff like this back here, which would be early in the year, right? Like January, February. So this is on an absolute tear up. It's approaching this prior high after a pullback, dropping to the 1 hour. Really how I like to do this is to start marking off zones and maybe gaps and imbalances in places where structure is indicating price may want to head next, and also give me a way to structure risk. So right off the bat, I'm going to mark off the top of this high right here, encompassing some of the wicks, some of the bodies. It's at that zone now. The next area that I'm looking at would probably be down here. I'll take that. I'll take this high, this wick. We could see it was kind of used as a little support, little resistance here. Not really respected terribly well, but enough for me to pay attention to just in case this pops back down. Now, you know what? I'm going to change this up. I'm going to come down here with it because even though that high is over to the left, I like this high, the prior high broken in the most recent uptrend. That's what I would be paying attention to for potential break and retest style of trade. Down here is going to be, your most recent low that was used as support a handful of times. Past that zone, we've got this right here. Again, extremely simple, elementary way of finding what you could call support and resistance, what you could call order block, what you could call supply and demand. Again, I repeat myself on this one. A lot of people say, oh, no, they're all different things. There's 27 different ways to identify a zone. That's fine, man. If you got a specific way you want to do it and you say, no, Zach, that's not how you do it. You have to draw it from the wick to the body, the top of the body, or you have to have at least 3 touches. That's fine, man. Again, discretionary trader. I use discretion. I don't place an enormous amount of value on this stuff. I think it's a waste of time and energy to do so. So before I go on too long, get distracted from my actual trading, here's what I'd be looking at with gold. It doesn't look like the slow is slowing down, right? We're not in a downtrend, so I'm not going to be looking for sells. You've got pretty much every time frame aligning here if we drop down to the 1 minute and the 5 minutes. So it'd be a pretty good time to be looking for buys if we weren't at this prior high at this resistance zone. I'd be looking for some form of a break and a retest. And again, if you tell me what kind of time frame you're trading on, I could give you a little bit closer up view is fine. But this is the style of entry I like to take. Some form of a break and retest. If this pushes up from here, I'm not just going to jump in, kind of like what we're seeing on NASDAQ right now. I want to see some form of a pullback. We have a bit of a gap right here, right? Somewhat of an imbalance. Maybe we see a reaction from this zone. Maybe we see a wick up. Maybe it stops right here. We get a pullback down. At about this area, the prior highs end after filling this gap, this what you'd call an imbalance or whatever fancy term you want to give it. I'd start looking for a push, some buying pressure, some indication, a reaction to the upside. I'm not going to enter immediately as it gets down here, as price is falling. You don't need to try to catch a falling knife. You can wait for the reaction to start. I'd be waiting for at least this area. Again, this is a pretty strong uptrend. Can it pull all the way down here? Can it come down here and break these lows for a minute and then wick back up? Sure. All of that, I'm still looking for a buy. I'm looking for price action to tell me once market structure has formed which way it may or may not be heading. That's the style of trade I'd be looking for on gold. I'd be looking for buys. I'll tell you that. I would not be taking a sell on this at all. When you zoom out, and even on lower time frames, man, when you zoom out and you look at something that's in such an absolute tear up, it's pushing up more than it's pulling down. That's why it's going up on the higher time frames. There's more ticks or pips in the direction that the overall trend is heading. So you might want to be trading in that direction. You probably, based on just the facts of the matter, if that trend is going to prevail, have a better chance of your trade working out rather than going against it. Can you catch sells on low time frames in the 5 minute and the 1 minute on the way down? Sure. But I'd be looking for buys on this thing. Again, I'm just doing it off the 1 hour. Right now, it looks like this might break above. You may not get a pullback. This doesn't always happen. Price does not always pull back. Sometimes it just runs. But again, this is the style of trade I'm looking at. Okay, we see. Let's do some examples. I'll come back and I won't really stop at a point. Price pushed up. Maybe we identified this area as a high, right? Didn't really get a pullback. Here was the push up. Here was the pullback. We didn't really tap into this zone, and then we started to break above. Maybe you said, okay, at this point, I want to enter here with a stop loss below these lows. That would have worked out fine. Here's the next high that was put in. Here's your break above. Here's your pullback down below the low. So a little bit dangerous, but had you waited for some buying pressure, some indication from price action and market structure, you would have been, in another good trade, another good win. You would have structured your trade likely with a stop loss down below here, entry somewhere, maybe off these dojis. That's a little aggressive for me, probably on a candle closure like this, and then a push up. If we just continue doing this, taking just the highs, I'm literally not paying attention to imbalances or really much other market structure other than the prior high broken in an uptrend. Here's the high, here's the pullback down, the higher low that gets put in, here's the higher high, right? Where's the pullback to this zone? This one probably wouldn't have worked out so well. You likely would have taken a buy right here, or maybe right here after a reaction out of this zone, and you would have got stopped out. You wouldn't have had a stop loss, unless you had a stop loss down below here, but that's really probably not the move. You would have had an entry somewhere over here and maybe a stop loss down below the zone. Doesn't work out every time. That's the indication right there. You would have had a loss after like 2 or 3 wins. Here's the high getting broken right here. Here's the pullback down. Perfect trade to the upside. Could have taken it somewhere down here as it started to stall. If you were real aggressive, you could have even taken it right here and just done a stop loss below this low. Would have worked out nicely. Again, here's the high, broken in the uptrend, pull back down, push back up. This works on every pair, almost every pair, almost every market, especially in a really strong trending market. Breaks and retest, using some support and resistance, using highs and lows. Super easy. If you combine this with a little bit of volume, you combine this with looking at gaps, big imbalances, areas where price has pushed off of very hard and not traded across. You can also find areas like these that price is likely to want to come back down and trade across. Can help you with your trading, can help you kind of improve on your execution, where you want to structure your risk, where you want to place your stop loss. Over into this area, we got a little bit more consolidation, kind of a double bottom deal getting put in. Again, we're not going to pay so much attention to chart patterns. This high hasn't been broken yet over here. This is the last high. We're waiting for this to get broken and then a pullback down and a push up. That's pretty much it. That's how I'd be trading gold right now. Doesn't work every time. Doesn't even have to work half the time. Honestly, if you have a positive risk to reward, you can end up with somewhere around that 50% win rate. Most profitable traders, in my experience, end up with somewhere around that 50% win rate when you look at all the stop outs, all the wins, all the losses. The main deal is, though, they're making more, and for real good traders, a lot more on their wins than they are on losing on their losses. So let's see. Let's jump back over to our boy NQ. Consolidating right here at the high wick. Thank you for jumping right into the chat and let me know. Hopefully that helps, man. If you want more information on gold, you want me to look at something else, let me know. I'll do so. Again, I'm on early, so I don't mind jumping around on charts and taking a look at stuff. But that's a really basic support and resistance, break and retest style of trading. So here's what we're looking at on NQ. Let's look at Dow real quick. See what our buddy Dow is doing. Break above, pull back down, trying to figure out where it wants to go from here. Maybe it wants to come back down to this area. Maybe it's going to push right up. NASDAQ kind of consolidating, like you said. On the 1 minute, definitely consolidating right at the area of a high wick. Guys, this is the simple, reason we draw horizontal zones. Is this a magical zone that I had on here that I knew price was going to stop at? No. Did price have to stop here, and will it stop here tomorrow? Maybe not. Probably not even, but it happens often enough where I want to pay attention to it. So this is something I do every day. If you go back through, you'll see all my videos, prior day high and low. It's an area where you do see price come up to, react at, find support, find resistance, just an important area to pay attention to. So we're consolidating right here on the 1 minute. Let's get our volume tools back on the chart. I think, if I had to speculate, which really isn't worth anything, but since we're commentating here on YouTube, I will speculate with you guys. I think it's likely to pull back down to fill this gap, at least right here, maybe somewhere down here. Maybe we start a really big pullback. Not really sold on the really big pullback, but I'm thinking we're due for something. This is pretty far extended, if we want to use that word. I think we're at least going to come down to this area right now. Wouldn't be bad for a sell. I'm not in love with taking sells in a really strong uptrend move like this, but it's possible to catch your nice little pullback. This is really strong though. It's really decided what it wanted to do. I'm gonna wait and see. Again, I had a good morning. I don't want to give profits back to the market if I don't have to. But I will get aggressive, like I said. got a couple eval accounts going, messing with some different stuff. We can be aggressive on them. Worst case is I'm blowing an eval account and on the way to a payout to get funded and get a payout. Especially with the future stuff, they're very inexpensive when you compare them against like what is traditional forex prop firm accounts. The price of the challenges are very, very inexpensive. They're single phase. They are tighter, much tighter. Drawdown rules, daily drawdown, and overall drawdown. So you have less risk capital, but you can get pretty aggressive on them. If you're comfortable losing the amount that you paid for the challenge, you go to reset it or whatever you want to do. So let's see what we get from here. Maybe that's all it's going to do, and it's going to push. Again, I think it's likely to at least kind of wick down to that 5-minute bar high, something like that. Maybe down to this area of consolidation. Maybe we start a bigger pullback, but it's extremely strong. It hasn't done that yet. It hasn't come down to this. So, this may just continue on. Buyers are still in control. Yeah, hell of a move today, though. Hell of a move. Big news move. Price action, price like this move, market like this news that came out. Quick pullback, and then it continued up. Really right to this high right here, right? Here's our nice gap, our nice imbalance. Important enough to pay attention to. I'm looking at highs and lows before that, areas where price has pushed off of, but I do pay attention to, that's why I say market structure. All of this is market structure, and then price action being the candles themselves as they're forming. A little bit closer up view. At least that's how I think of market structure and price action. So got a couple people on. What's up? If you're just hopping on, feel free to ask questions in the chat. Trading questions. I'll try to provide my opinion, my insight, best way I can. If you got questions about my trading, anything specific, feel free to ask. I talk a lot, so if I'm not explaining something or it's not clear, feel free, ask away, and I'll try to answer. I start to pay attention if I'm getting ready for an entry or I'm in a trade, but otherwise trading is a little bit of waiting around. So yeah, right. Like this could have been nice for a buy. Small pullback down and then a break above. This isn't extremely volatile, but these moves are enough to definitely capture, some nice small wins on NASDAQ, where the tick movement is pretty solid. Man, we got a lot of strength in the NASDAQ. Above the prior day high, I think we're headed up towards this zone. I mean, look at this on the 15. That's pretty gnarly. Here's the open. Pretty nice move. If we go on the higher time frames, just to take a more zoomed out look of NASDAQ, it's been in an uptrend. Let me clear some of this off just to take another look. A little top-down analysis. Super zoomed out view, looking back through last year. It's been on a tear up, right? Nice, strong uptrend. We do have some serious pullbacks that occur. So, on lower time frames, there's plenty of days where you could be, this is the 4-hour chart, there's multiple days you could be looking for sells. That's why I try to stay flexible and not take too much of a bias of really, really zoomed out high time frame view into account on my, my trading. Even when we're on the 5-minute and the 1-minute, I try not to get too biased with it. But right now, this had put a high in. Yep, broke above here, put a high in. Has been staging this pretty gnarly pullback. Hasn't really been breaking above prior highs as it's pulled back within this pullback. until now. This could just be a wick above right here, and it wants to push back down, but so far it's, it found support over here above, right at this high, right at this low, and above this low here. The wick down was right down over here, and then since it's pushed up, so this is looking kind of strong right now from a higher time frame view. I really wouldn't be looking at anything too serious from the 4 hour and the 1 hour until we started breaking all these highs and continue this move up. But worth it to look at, worth it to pay attention to, just to understand where you are in the grand scheme of things. Throw our volume tools back on here, jump back to the 5-minute. Yeah, so really really strong really strong movement out of NASDAQ. Again, just waiting to see if we start to stage a move down, if we start to see some strong pullback, so a little bit of selling pressure. Maybe it sets us up for a little bit of structure to trade off of to the upside. Maybe we take something to the downside. Right now, yeah, we're leaving gaps all over the place, really. Let's get set up to trade this bad boy. Something like that. We'll just kind of see what we get right now. Watch this on the 5-minute for now, just so we can keep our structure in mind. Oh man. Excuse me. Yeah, news kicked the market into gear a little bit. We got let's check what we got for tomorrow. Got some more coming up tomorrow. I was talking about this yesterday. forexfactory.com, that's the site that I check, not affiliated in any way. My FX book was the other one that I was thinking of that has news and a lot of other tools for trading. So we had PPI and unemployment claims at 8:30 a.m. today. Looks like 10 a.m. we had somebody from FOMC speaking. 30-year bond auction was today at 1. Where was 1 o'clock? Yeah, that could have added into this momentum, because it really didn't back off at all. Oh, I'm sorry. Here's 1 o'clock. Yeah, it did. It definitely liked that orange folder, but that definitely helped this out. Didn't hurt it. So, looks like tomorrow we've got some GBP news. It's GDP at 2 a.m. Eastern, and then at 10 a.m. Eastern, we've got consumer sentiment for USD. So 10 a.m. after NYSE open. I don't really love when we get news like that. Sometimes the market hesitates a little bit, and then you get the big news move, and you're kind of stuck waiting until after the fact. But we'll see what that gives us. So a little bit more red folder on Friday, and then going into next week. I know earnings season is kicking off for stocks, but Retail sales, yeah, there's a handful of stuff coming up next week, handful of red folder stuff early in the week. Looks like it cools off a little bit for Thursday and Friday, but we'll watch tomorrow. Again, consumer sentiment, I don't think that's usually a huge one. It's a red folder, but I don't know if that's a massive market mover. I'll be paying attention to it, deciding whether or not I want to have a trade on and take a lot of risk on, but we'll see what that does for us tomorrow. Again, I'm trading every morning, unless I'm on, vacation or doing something different, sick. 9:30 a.m. Eastern. I like to jump on the charts right about 9 a.m., half hour before the market opens, NYSE, that is, New York Stock Exchange. And then, trade that first hour or two. We get some nice volatility, hour, maybe 3 hours. Just depends on how it's looking. You get some movements, you get some volatility, kind of like towards the end of the day here, where we are waiting right around this last hour, hour and a half of New York Stock Exchange trading. You get some volume, some volatility pouring into the market, and it can make for some continuation moves, some reversal, just a little bit more action to trade off of, right? We need movement to either win or lose our trades, so that's the time frames I like to trade around. You can definitely trade outside of that on U.S. indices, but you get the most volume and, in my opinion, the most opportunities in those times. You do overnight stuff too. I've been looking at more of that, testing with some of that. Just if you're trading one pair, it's kind of can be helpful to like have some skin in the game, to be paying attention to it after hours, just to be even more ready in the morning. There's also a balance, like sometimes you should step away from the charts and not be just constantly hammering yourself with information. But after NYSE closes, there's like an hour in between the futures market, even though the price, you'll see the price, and maybe you come back at like 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. and Eastern, and you put a trade on that you're going to hold until the morning. Try to capture some news some movement that kicks up through Asian session and pre-market session, which would be early hours of the morning for New York. But more of a swing style, maybe a lower risk. You use a much wider stop, that type of a deal. But something I've been looking at just for fun. If I'm focusing really heavily, which I have been, on the futures market for day trading. So yeah, this is kind of just slowly trickling up. A buy really anywhere would have worked, really hasn't come back down has it come back down past the prior bar low from this bar? Nope. Right here, you got it. Just a tiny bit. If you had your stop right here, you would have been okay. So, we could just be jumping into a buy here, but I'm going to wait. It's really not my style of trading to just catch to just jump in with the trend arbitrarily. I want to see somewhat of a pullback. This wasn't it for me. Again, what I was saying is I'm looking for somewhat of like a gap to fill, at least if I'm not looking at like a prior high, because this really isn't a prior high, right? This is an uptrend in itself. I was looking for something to come down to this zone right here. Really, this area is where I'd be looking at if I had to encapsulate that entire candle. Somewhere in here, pull back down, and then reaction out of that zone. That would have given me my buy. And again, this is like aggressive. This is not waiting for much of a pullback at all. Anything like this, you're gonna come right out of it. You're gonna get taken out. Somewhat of a similar deal up here, a little bit like this one formed. This pulled back a little bit, but left a gap. I'm using my box here as a drawing tool for this. This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about a real just clean gap in price action, nothing to the left or right. Price hasn't traded really across it. So again, was looking for something to come down like into this area real quick after this push up of consolidation, but it's just super strong. So just gonna wait and see. Would really like to get another trade again. Got a different eval account rolling specifically so I could trade aggressively on a couple of them, just for having some action and getting some time in the markets. Yeah, again, I'm looking at, I'll mark it so we know what we're looking at. Yeah, I'm going to come off of this just so we can see. That would be buy zone number 1. It's also right above this this high wick level where we found some consolidation, but I don't know that we're going to get it. When we get this towards the end of the day, sometimes it just trails and it's going to be a close at the high. Massive. I mean, we got some pretty big candles here, but this is a pretty big damn candle. 430 points, something like that. Big push. Maybe we come back off a little bit towards the close and we get that top wick, but a lot of times you don't have a lot of that when it's a big push up. If you look back through at daily candles that were really big pushes up, the close is really considered like the high. So we will watch it. We will see. And try not to give back profits to the market, but try to get involved and make some money when we can. But you don't know which ones are going to work out. Can only approach it the same way, somewhat consistently. Again, applying some discretion, some intuition, and let the odds play out. Had to deal with that this week, man. Really slow in the beginning of the week. Happy that I stayed out of a couple of moves. I was a little bit slow to act on Tuesday. I think I was a little frustrated. Just watched Dow sell off in front of me, pulled back nicely, was just too slow to move, anticipating not a big move because there wasn't news. Brought a little bit of bias in with me, so that's just how it goes sometimes. The trades I did get in, most of them were just small losses. Price didn't agree with me. A couple on the live where it just I was looking for the sell, didn't happen, turned and pushed up. But you stay patient. You get a day like today where there's some big movements, some big volatility. Your analysis of the market is right. You're reading price action well, and price action is just forming, quote unquote, normally. When we're trading a certain way, expecting a trend to prevail, expecting breaks and retest and some form of price action to print, and we get that, our trades go well. You don't always get that, so that's why I'm like, quote unquote, normally, because it's hard to say what's normal and what's not normal if it all happens. The market can do whatever it wants to do. So solid morning, more than made up for the few stop outs this week, and that's just why you have to stay patient. You got to come to the market every day, ready to trade, whether you're on the win streak, whether you're on the lose streak. Can't let that affect your trading, too much, or your risk management. Start over leveraging, revenge trading, going on tilt. That's the term that a lot of guys in the futures market use. Just trading with emotions. That stuff is deadly. So, yeah, man, if you got questions, ask them in the chat. $30 profit in 2 seconds. Nice, man. Awesome. Love to hear that. Making money. So I'm watching this pull down a little bit. Again, I'm going to try to get a trade. I'm going to try to jump in on this trend. If I catch the top on a pullback, so be it. I'll take the stop out. Maybe I'll take 2. And then I'll try shorts if it starts to fall off from somewhere up here. But again, above this prior day high, I think it's possible that it comes back before continuing a bit. I don't think it's going to pull back down for forever. But again, I'm just going to watch price action and market structure. You know, we kind of have a zone right up here where it's at, just these highs and lows, but we kind of have a zone everywhere here, right? So like this isn't too clear for me to say, oh, you know, here's the zone. It stopped right here. That's kind of just hindsight being 2020. So let's see what we get from right here. Again, I'm just looking at structure and price action on the 5-minute with this strong trend and trying to see if we have, you know, some areas where I think price is likely, to pull back to and react off of. And right now, this is what I'm looking at. These highs, this gap being filled could make for a nice entry. So trading below the last couple bar lows. So we're definitely staging, you know, a pullback. It's not not a massive pullback here, but I'm going to get ready for a buy. I'm not doing anything yet. You guys will see when I enter. I enter with just an arbitrary stop loss, and I almost always drag it up. So, you know, if I enter and it's a 60 tick stop loss, and I drag it up, you know, I'll measure it for you, let you know what I'm trading with. This might be all we get. Like, that's not really enough for me, man. I want to see it below this low right here, tapping this high. I think at the least, then I can get. That doesn't even leave me a lot of room, but I'd like to get, you know, an entry right down there, stop above these, below these lows, in case it wants to come down and check them out again, and then push back up. So I'm gonna wait for that pullback. If we blast right back up from here, I will have missed it. Well, we won't go sideways like that. Jesus. If we blast right back up from here above this high, I will have missed my entry. If we start to get some consolidation without really breaking, maybe we just tap these highs and then start to come down, might look for a quick sell to the downside, but this is setting up for the buy that I'm looking for. Again, kind of something along these lines. Let's see if we get down below that wick, and I will try for the long. I'm probably going to need a bigger. I want to trade 2 contracts because 1 is pretty light. 2 is fairly light, but 80. Yeah, 80 would put me down below it. A little bit more risk than I want to take on at the moment, but I'm going to see if we can get a push into that zone, and I'll enter without any buying pressure, really. Again, we're on the 5-minute, super strong uptrend. I might not even get that entry, honestly. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to enter with 1 contract to start, right towards the top, a little bit further. A little bit further.
Order filled.
Right there. So here is entry number 1. If it comes down, yeah, I want my stop just below these lows. On that first one, this is going to be a little bit more than about 21 points, 85 ticks. I'm going to see what we get from here. Maybe we get a reaction. Maybe we push right through. So I'm going light on the first one, and then maybe I will scale in. You know, maybe we kind of come down here a little bit deeper. I decide to take an entry with a reduced risk on the second one. That's not always a bad move. Yeah, not going to go for a home run on this one, but again, I'm at like half risk here for this first entry. We filled this nice gap that I was looking at. You know, here's the pullback. below prior bar lows, trading in a strong uptrend. If this needs to come all the way back down and start filling this out, I'll get the stop out, but we will kind of see where we go from here. If you're just jumping on, again, ask questions in the chat, trading questions. That's what I'm here for. Outside of just trading here on YouTube. If you want to trade with me live, links in the description. Team Real Deal. I do this every morning on Zoom where we could talk face to face. You get the main session. Get to see the big show. Talk about your trading, get help with risk management, your approach, your strategy, your psychology, all that fun stuff. And free Telegram, also link in bio. Analysis. I tell you when I'm coming live here on YouTube to do this stuff for free. Giving away prop firm account on my Instagram, $50,000 prop firm account. Tomorrow is your last day to enter. Sometime in the evening, I'll do the winner live. I'll announce that. And if you got any questions, anything outside of this, man, DM me on Instagram or shoot me an email, support@realdealforex.com. So let's see what we get from here. Again, I'm waiting to see if we get a deeper push. I'm entering really without any, no buying pressure there, not a bullish candle, because I don't think I'm going to get a chance to. If this is going to continue up, there's a good chance that it just pushes from here. If it blasts down, and I'm catching a falling knife here, that's fine. I'm at half risk. We take a stop. We move on to the next one. So I might not add in. I was thinking if this continued and I got somewhere down in here and then it started to turn, I'd get a second position. Again, there's a balance between entering too early, entering too late, missing the trade, needing to have too tight of a stop loss, too wide of a stop loss. That's the whole thing on the lower time frames with this kind of scalping style of trading. I'm not scalping on the 15-second chart, but the 5-minute with pretty tight stops and, pretty aggressive entries back and forth, you can consider it scalping if you like. So see what we get on NASDAQ today. No big reaction yet. Second bar trading down. Could be staging, could be setting up for a deeper pullback than I'm set up for on this one. So probably just going to leave this as is for right now. This may come right down and stop me. This may need to come below the prior day high, but we're nice. We're right into that zone, right into the highs. Again, just trading market structure and price action on what it's been doing. But again, this thing is very extended. So if we start pushing down hard and I take the stop out, I might look for a short pretty quick. But we'll see what we get here for this so far. Yeah. Still good on YouTube. What's good, YouTube? Let's see. Do we get a reaction out of this zone? Maybe. Maybe not. 25 seconds left on this candle. Looks like it wants to start pulling back, but I'm not so sure. Too bearish. I was hoping for that nice reaction right on that first one where I got my entry. Looked like it might stage it pretty quickly. Second one, closing below, bearish, not making a good case that this wants to push right from this zone, but we're on lower time frames. Got to give it a second to breathe. But right now, this doesn't look great to me. Gonna leave it rather than ducking out early, just because it's right in that area where I want to take this buy. But I'm not going to add in to this just yet. We get up near prior bar high. If it starts moving in the direction, I'll get stop loss to break even pretty quick. And again, I'm trading one contract here, so this is pretty damn light. I don't have a chance to close partials on this or anything like that. Are you using a psychological level? No psychological level. This is the only thing that I got up here. This is prior day high. I got it marked as high wick and high open, so I just know open and close of the candle and the wicks of the candle, high and low. So this was reacted off of a bit, and then really what I marked off here, what I was looking at on this trade was we had these highs broken, a push back up, and it started to pull down. We had a gap between this candle bottom here and this high here with this nice big bullish candle that left some wide open price action. A lot of times that's something that wants to be tapped into real quick before the move continues. So this zone right here is just marking off the top of that zone being the top of that area that I wanted to see tapped into. That's it. Simple as that. These are just arbitrarily the highs in this uptrend. That's it. Just looking for an area again to get in on this uptrend rather than just buying a candle bar high. I like to buy on some form of a pullback. Again, if it's a little less strong than this and it's not just ripping up, usually I have a chance to wait for a pullback down and then some kind of buying pressure where my entry will be on the push up out of the zone with a stop loss just below that area. I took this on the way down coming into this zone because I'm not sure I was going to get a chance to get any kind of entry like that. When you get stuff like this where it's just up, 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 maybe you get a quick pullback, and you can get a nice entry on it and a nice way to structure risk. Otherwise, you're kind of just jumping in on a bullish bar and an uptrend without a real good way to structure risk. And it can work good. It would have worked good, earlier today, really at any point after 1 o'clock, right here. But any kind of pullback can really just kill you on that. So that's that, man. No, you can use psychological levels. You could use round numbers. You could use really whatever you want. Just find some consistency with it. Use it as a way to structure risk. Use it as a way to approach the markets every day, and obviously back test it. Make sure whatever your style is, whatever your approach, your strategy is providing you some edge in the market. Find a way to structure risk. That can be discretionary. You can adapt it to each individual, situation, which I think is an important thing to do, especially if you're scalping on low time frames. But have some plan going into it. Have a reason for your trade. Understand why. Be confident. Like this blows right through, or it just trickles down and stops me out. That's fine. I'm not like, oh man, I should have sold. No, that's not the way. It just didn't work this time. It worked for me all morning. It works in the long run. You just can't let the natural losses that you're going to take because, your approach is not always going to work the way this one doesn't look like it is. Mess with your psychology. So, but find something somewhat consistent, something that provides an edge in the market, and that you like trading, that you understand, and work with that. But, the only thing I really would suggest against in a non-financial way, because none of this is financial advice, is just using too many indicators, too much information, trying to use fundamentals and technicals and 37 indicators and, every marking on the chart that you possibly can. Too much information. You just get overloaded. And in my opinion, in my experience, I haven't seen, stuff like that provide this massive win rate. Usually when I hear guys talk about that, they're pretty inexperienced, and they just haven't seen it play out in the market long enough to know that they're not going to pick exactly where the market's going to turn or have something that's going to be right 8 or 9 out of 10 times. If you're right 5 or 6 out of 10 times, and when you're right, you're making a little bit more, you're doing great. That's my thought process. So, little bit of support found, maybe. This still isn't massively convincing. Back above prior bar high, the last bar printed kind of a bearish doji looking candle, but it didn't go below prior bar low. So let's see if this starts a push up. That'd be pretty sweet. Again, I'm not going to add in right now just because of the way that this kind of moved slow and consolidated around this zone. I still think there's a chance for this not to go up and break that high and to come back around and stop me out. And this might be the turn, of the day that I'm buying into, but that's okay if it is. So I'm going to leave this be for right now. We'll see. And, we'll kind of let this one play out and then decide if we want to start looking short. If it starts climbing down, we'll make a decision from there. If it breaks these lows, this is the next, gap, I guess I'd say. Yeah, I'd be looking to get filled. I think it would likely to come down in here. So I might want to flip on this one pretty quickly. Might want to flip on this one really quickly. Again, you get stuff like this where you do stage the pullback, comes down below lows, and then, just rips right back up. But I'm just going to wait for this one to see what we get and then make a decision from here. But yeah, this would be like the next area if it broke below that I think it would come down to. And then we got, all the way down here with this wide open price action. Let's take a look at our friend, the Dow. At a resistance level, an area of some volume. Yep, these lows right here pushed all the way back up above session high and tapped into that area. Yeah, this doesn't look good. If it flips bearish, I might duck out early, like it looks like it's going to do right now. This was its chance to push. We came above this bar, and now we're kind of just back down at this zone. Looks like sellers still in control right now, and that this might want to continue unless we see some momentum to the upside really soon. There's no wick to the downside on this one. That's kind of a dangerous play. So it's making the case to take me out of this position. But we're going to wait and see what we get. Oh, man. Yeah, if you guys jumped on, thanks for watching. Thanks for jumping on. We got some live trading going on. We're in a trade on NASDAQ, NQ in the futures market. Making $5. All right, guys, winning trade. Here you go, $15. Make sure you close out, take profits, and you're good to go. Don't spend it all in one place. We're gonna see if this thing pushes. Again, to me, still not looking very convincing. I'm gonna stick with this one. I don't always hold all of my trades to any kind of target. Obviously, I don't have a target on here. I'm gonna close based on price action. See what happens. But I'm inclined not to cut this one yet, even though it's giving me a chance to get out of break even. Because it's making a case for a push, I just need to see some momentum. We need to see something step in, buyers to step in here, and for this to start pushing up. Again, it made it above prior bar high. You know, we got closes above the lows of the previous bars in the last couple. Um, it just is not a super bullish look right now with like no wick to the downside, and it's struggling to continue closing out. But again, we'll see. The only thing I'll say is if it starts to come down below these lows, I might duck out of it. That's just a lower probability of this thing playing out than a push that I want to see right now. Let's see it. Let's see it, NASDAQ. Play nice with us, man. Cool. That's the start. That's the start of it. But we need to get up to those highs. I'm gonna get stop loss to break even, and we'll go from there. Nice, got some momentum, got to push up. Could have had a little bit better entry again, right in the middle of this zone, or somewhere like that. I'm going to go stop loss to break even now, which will be right below the low of that candle. You go right on top. Not quite at a 1-to-1, but if this comes back down and flips bearish before it breaks this high, again, you know, lower probability of it playing out. That's just the way that I'm interpreting this. I want to see this thing push right up now. Here's the move. Pull back down and, you know, momentum push up. If it comes down and starts breaking this low, I want to look to get into a sell pretty quick. So I don't want to be holding all the way back down here. So no pressure, you know, risk-free trade. We got profits running, and, you know, I want to see this thing break. Would probably close out on, well, I want to see what price action looks like. You know, if it trickles, if it struggles up here, you know, maybe we just take our profit, wait for the next pullback, see if we get another trade out of it. You know, we get a blast like this, you can kind of hang on to it and catch, you know, your nice profit. But really the highs would be like just above a 1-to-1. Again, since I had one contract open, reduce risk overall, but I go by the, you know, we play it fair. Whatever your opening risk is on the trade, to start, if you're going to calculate risk to reward, that's what you better be using as your, you know, your R. If I say 1R or 2R, so 85, yeah, we got to hit those highs. That's the deal. That's how I did it in 2 seconds. Good, man. Yeah. No, I mean, look, you know, I've watched was a guy in one of the communities that I was in who would like just be speaking about how he was trading, and I mean, it's like a couple seconds, you know, scalping the 1-minute chart, you know, placing your entries, really tight stop, waiting for price to push into profit, and then closing out your move. You know, that's cool. It works. A little bit stressful for me. I'm not so much of a fan of it. I mean, I have some pretty short-term trades when price is moving, but, you know, this, again, you know, like, what do you consider? I think it's kind of like subjective. What do I consider swing trading versus scalping and all that type of stuff? This could be easily considered scalping. You know, I'm on the 5-minute chart. I'm going for pretty small moves when you consider what it is in a point move. Pretty nice moves when we talk about ticks. You know, picked up a 50 tick move. Yeah, 50 tick move. You know, that can get you paid every day if you can find an entry like that. So let's see. Again, not really a lot of momentum. This is why I'm like being a little bit defensive with this. You know, this, I want to see the big push. We're not really getting that. It broke above. We got bars closing above prior bars, highs that are breaking highs. You know, I need to see a push up above this, you know, for any kind of indication this move is going to continue. Right now, this looks like it could be getting ready to start a sell-off. Again, in which case I'll be looking to get short. Come back down and catch a move, fill in some of this. I'd probably operate with a tighter stop loss and, you know, and try to catch a small move out of that. So we'll see. We shall see. I want to leave that up here so we can see what's running. Do I have P&L in the corner? Yeah, I do. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. But yeah, guys, if you're on, thanks for jumping on in a trade here on NASDAQ, seeing if we can make some money. Again, I'm not sold on it just yet. We got momentum, so it looks good, but I'm not sold on this continuing. I don't know that this is going to move. It didn't move really the way that I wanted it to, the way I was expecting it to, with a quick wick down and then a push back up. But I'm in it. Risk-free trade, being defensive, stop loss to break even, all good. We got to take stop outs at break even and full stop outs on the way to our winners. That's how it goes. But if you're not in the free Telegram, hop in the free Telegram. Analysis every day. Talk about news. Talk about psychology. Talk about everything that I think goes into profitable trading. I keep you updated when I'm doing lives. I've been live all this week, so it hasn't been a ton of new info in the Telegram because I'm doing it for free on YouTube Live for hours every day. Trading, taking wins, taking losses, showing you, how I analyze the charts, how I manage risk, how I trade, really everything right here from TradingView, live P&L. Don't know what else I could do to show you my trading. If you want to jump on with me live every morning, realdealforex.com. It's also in the Telegram all the time. I trade live on Zoom, similar to this, but where we could talk. It's the main session. I'm even more aggressive, taking most of my trades then, or looking to take most of my trades then. You also get access to a private Discord where you can, no pre-made videos, no masterclass, none of that shit. Just me speaking to you about your own trading, one-on-one in a group environment, going over charts, going over analysis, going over, again, risk management, psychology, journaling, trade plan, the whole deal. So that's what I believe can help people. That's why I structured my program that way. Pretty cheap, in my opinion. Starts at $67 for a week. So this, again, doesn't look super strong. Maybe it just needs to, jerk around for a little bit before it pushes up. But I think I'm going to take the stop at break even coming up pretty soon here. And if this comes all the way back down, starts breaking lows, again, I'm going to look for a sell. So this is going to be interesting. Again, I'm looking at how price has moved recently, right, on the 5-minute chart. We got some consolidation over here. We got a little bit of a pullback here that tapped into this area. But since then, it's been pretty strong, right? So here was the deep pullback. I entered right here thinking that, okay, it's going to pull back down and we want to see another big candle. If this was doing what I was expecting it to be doing, it should have been up here already. It's not. It came around, messed around down here, put a bullish candle in, and now is failing to continue this move. This candle comes down below this one. Sure, maybe it's just checking it out and I'm too tight with a stop loss and then it blasts off. But this is much less of a case for this trade working out. So defensive on stop loss. I'm in a risk-free trade. Do I want to close out for $150? No, that's not going to do too much for my day, for this account, for the way that I need to trade this to have it be worth something. So I'm just going to let it run. Probably get stopped to break even. If it blasts back up from here, I probably won't get a second chance. I'm not going to jump in right above these highs. But if it comes back down, I'm thinking it's maybe going to get down below here, in which case this is going to continue. So I'd look for, some kind of a structured move to the downside, something like this. So we'll just kind of be patient, wait and see. Would be nice if it turned and ran 315. So, we are coming up on that time where we see an increase in volume, volatility, but this looks like it's going to stop us out. But again, maybe it wants to come all the way back down, have a corrective move to the downside. That's cool by me. We can ride it back down. Going to be conservative on risk, aggressive on entries to a degree, try to get on the move, try to capture something towards the end of the day. This looked like it was just going to kind of trail its way happy ass back up here, but I don't know if we're going to get that. So we'll see. I'll leave this over here so we can see what price is doing. I don't know. How do I get rid of the reverse position? I don't want that. Yeah, I don't need that right now. There we go. Looks like a stop out. We can hear stop filled. I'll turn it up so you guys can hear it.
Stop filled.
There we go. There's the stop filled. Stopped out at break even. If there's yeah. I got you, brother. Dude was talking in the chat. Yeah, I seen that to flip the order to just straight take it the other way. Yeah, it's a useful tool to have that option. If at a certain point you just want to immediately be the opposite direction, I would just prefer to do it manually. If I'm going to flip it, I want to resize and kind of just structure my risk accordingly on the new trade. So let's see what this does. Again, pull back down. I want to see this push up continue before another pullback down. That's why I don't want to be in this trade. Let's see if we start to break below these lows, get some structure to the downside. Again, coming up on this 3:16 p.m. mark. Maybe we start to trail back down towards the trading of the session. Maybe not. Maybe that's all it wants to do. Wants to mess around here for a little bit and then continue up. But I'm playing it somewhat conservative on risk and protecting capital on the way. So we shall see. But yeah, if there's any reason to trade futures over Forex, outside of all the actual reasons, it's to hear order filled. Everybody always asks me on my videos, how do you get it to say order filled? It's like, it's just the futures market. I actually used to wonder myself. I was wondering what broker did that, but it's, I think it's most brokers do it, but Tradeovate does it. Order filled, stop filled, order working. Kind of looking bullish on this candle right now. Just tapped me out and is pulling back up. But again, I'm gonna have to wait on this one now. See what we get. Again, we get the break down below these lows. I don't know that I'm taking a breakout sell, but I'd be looking to get short, try to ride it back down for a little bit. But now we're going to get the bullish momentum that we were waiting on in this trade, it looks like. But again, with this type of move, I'm expecting it almost to just come up here, mess around with these highs, maybe break above and form some kind of a double top, because this is just the pullback. And then, again, if buyers are still in control, price is just kind of equalizing, rebalancing, whatever term you want to use, just pulling back and then, retesting and then breaking. We want to see that happen. Again, if you look at the price action, most recent price action, that's kind of what we've seen. We did have some consolidation over here. And then again, some light news, but obviously the market liked it along with the news over here. But this has been really strong price action without too much consolidation. So pullback, I want to see the break right above. I don't want to see pullback, fail at any point and then pull back further, which is what we got on this. Not a confirmed lower high or anything until it comes back down below here again. But this is enough to take me out of the trade for me to want to put it at break even and not just risk it coming back down here. So that's part of just having an idea, we're reacting to price, right? It's doing something, and I say, okay, here's what I want to see happen, and then I'm going to enter. And then I also have an idea of here's what I want to see happen after I enter. Some guys, the approach is just set the TP, set the stop loss, let it be. That's it. And it could work out. Like, you might see this blast right off, and if I had not moved stop loss to break even, maybe that worked out nicely. But I just it's more, I find it's an advantage for me to be able to make a decision based on the context of what price action is showing me. If you go back and see the loss I took earlier this week, on a sell, I left the trade, the stop loss where it was originally, didn't move it to break even past 1-to-1, pushing down because I felt that it was likely to retest. That area that I would have to move my stop loss to was not ideal. The entry area wasn't ideal to allow any room for a retest, but it came back and stopped me out all the way. So there's times when it works and there's times when it doesn't. But I find that more times than not, I can produce a better outcome than if I just left stuff alone, and kind of forgot about it. But we'll see if that holds true right now, because I'm not so convinced that it is. A little bit of consolidation on this one now. Let's see what our friend Dow is doing. Again, if you're on, thanks for watching. We're trading futures. We're trading live, straight through TradingView. Dow's found some resistance and is kind of forming a similar move. Pulled back down a little bit deeper. Actually, pulled down, pushed up, didn't break the high, pulled down again, pushed up, didn't break the high. Now hasn't broken this low, but is kind of consolidating a little bit. Looks like it's going to try to head back up right now on this 5-minute bar, but similar move, finding some resistance here, right around this zone, right above pre-market session high in the open. So we will kind of see what we get. Oh, don't need to copy price. Call me to watch this on the 5-minute. I'm liking this right now. Looks like it's going to try to stage its continuation up. NASDAQ, going to mess with me on this one? Yeah, it looks like it's going to try. But again, we'll see if it breaks. We'll see if it fails. Maybe we'll look to re-enter on this, but nothing just yet. Again, NASDAQ, I don't really need a massive move, as you saw with that one, to get into some nice profits, especially if I'm trading 2 contracts, not 1. That was, that's pretty light risk for this account. Tapping against these highs. Yeah, we got to see. We're going to get a move. Big surprise. It's going to go up or down, guys, in case you were wondering. It looks to me like we're either going to get the push up with some momentum here, break above on this candle, or it fails here and starts this move down. Coming into that last half hour time frame, 35 minutes, 36 minutes left. It's 3:24 p.m. Eastern, where I'm at, and NYSE closes at session ends at 4 p.m. Eastern. So not so much volume at the end of the day. If anything, we got a stall here and some consolidation. So I'm inclined to say that there might be a little dip back down, or it's going to pump. But I think we're going to see something really soon on this one. That's what I'm going with, looking at this candle. But Not a bad trade, not a bad entry right here. I'll get rid of this. Actually, I'll leave the zone. 50% line would have been pretty cool as an entry. Again, I don't have a dead set way of drawing this, so the 50% of this arbitrary zone doesn't really mean too much to me. But let's see. We got a nice bullish candle. Looks like it wants to go. In which case I got stopped out and would have been in a nice trade for this one. But that's how it goes, protecting capital. Break above prior bar highs. Does it come above the prior high, or do we start to fail here and turn? So I would take another one up until about 350 or so, something like that. But if you jumped on late, again, thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for watching. If you got any questions, trading questions, ask them in the chat. I'll do my best to answer them. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. If you're not in the free Telegram where I'm giving out prop firm accounts and analysis and trading live for free, I don't know what you're doing. Hop in there. Feel free. And if you want some, real help with your trading, one-on-one help, I've got programs for that as well. But no pressure. I put a lot of stuff out for free. I have fun doing it, so I'm planning on continuing to do that. Afternoon session's been pretty fun. Again, you get some slow days in here for sure, but there's definitely some momentum that comes in between 3 and 4. Seen that last week and some of this week. Yeah, so no big push up, right? Like this was the pull back down. Where's the continuation? This this move, if we look at this time right here, has really stalled with this choppy consolidation. So again, it's kind of making a case that it might want to come back down. I don't want to sell, unless I have some real reason to. I don't know if we'll get enough structure. I wouldn't be just taking a sell with a stop loss all the way above here. I would want to see price start to come back down, break below these lows, start to break these lows, and then maybe give me some structure to trade off of. Something like that, where I'd want an entry, back up in the zone, kind of like I took here for the buy. But don't know if we're going to get that. This looks choppy on the 1 minute. Trying to figure out what it wants to do. Yeah, let's just check to make sure. Yeah. Just waiting to see what we get here on NASDAQ. Might get another shot to do something. If I had to take an order right now, it's a sell, just with what's going on right now. If I had to take a position, but not enough. Not enough to convince me just yet either way. So we're just going to chill out, see what we get for the last half hour here. If you're on, thanks for joining for some free live trading, streaming on YouTube. Link in my bio, free Telegram. I know I repeat myself, and if it's just the same people on here, I apologize, but I see people jumping on and off. You can see total numbers of views, so I like to tell people what's up. So free Telegram, link in bio, analysis, live trading, everything that I think goes into profitable trading. Talk about news every morning. Giving away a $50,000 prop firm challenge account tomorrow. If you jump on my Instagram, it's first pin post, no purchase necessary. Tag a friend, follow, like the post. I think you got to share it to your story. It's the only other thing. So yeah, man. Outside of that, thanks for being here. If you got trading questions, ask them in the chat. I'll tell you what's up. Tell you what is up. Cool. Yeah, and I'm almost set up with a I would like to get some more experience with it, but I get so many people asking me that I'd like to make some recommendation rather than just saying, oh, I don't talk about, anything to do with brokers or firms or anything like that. I'd like to be able to at least talk about what I'm doing, at least for right now. I'll always preface it with, how much experience I have or how much time, I've spent with different companies, working with them. But should have something coming up. Little help if you guys are looking to get funded, that type of stuff. Futures market, not a bunch of BS prop firms. With the HFT pass, and you have a 33% consistency rule that ensures that you will never, ever, ever receive a payout, ever. If you're trading with an HFT, Forex prop firm, any of the big names that you can probably think of, I have a lot of experience with those, so I'd be happy to tell you and give you the bad news. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, shoot me a DM. I'll tell you all about my experience. I don't like bashing any companies or being a smartass about it. It sucks losing money. I'm glad, I have to say, at least so I could sleep at night, that I'm glad that I did it so I could talk to other people about it and maybe save them some time and some money. But what's going on in the prop firm industry in the Forex space is a bunch of BS. Whole bunch of BS, especially for U.S. traders. So if you're in the U.S., you might want to swap over to futures. Very professional, well-regulated market from what I've seen so far. Again, preface it, I haven't been in the futures market for forever. The trading is the same. The charts are the same. All of that is essentially the same. The way that the orders are processed, the contracts instead of lot size, the ticks instead of pips, the different way data is presented, and that you have to pay for data, certain things like that. It's definitely differences, but there's a lot of advantages for U.S. traders. Sorry for asking which prop firm are you giving out. No problem asking, man. I'm going to save that information for you for tomorrow in case you win. Reason being is, again, I've been testing with different platforms in the hopes of being able to start to recommend one. One, I want to have enough experience with them, have my own experience built up to be able to talk about to a degree before I go and recommend something that is not a good path to send people down. So until I have that, I'm not gonna talk too much about it. But if you win, I will certainly tell you the platform that I'm giving you a win on. Yeah. Again, man, I'll give you the straight up answer, the reasoning for that. Why? I got an HFT bot from these very legit, and I've told this story before, so sorry if I'm boring you. Got an HFT bot from these gentlemen that I met at an in-person trading conference for one of the major brokers. It was a really cool event. Met some really cool people there. These guys were 20-year veterans, major league software developers with PhDs. They were also in the markets for decades. Major traders. They coded bots and EAs for professional traders that maybe had black and white systems. Is a whole nother piece of the story. But essentially, I got an HFT bot from them that could pass the HFT prop firm challenges. Not randomly offline, not, from an illegitimate source, from, actual guys that were doing it. Tested it myself on 2 different accounts. It passed them right away. It was really cool. So I figured, you know what? Let me do it and then trade one of them into profit, which I did after being funded with the HFT, and request a payout and try to follow all the rules in the way that I think that after all this time trading and being able to trade profitably, that I could follow some rules from a prop firm and, and get things straight. I did that. And the way that they were applying this specific firm, you could guess which one it is because you could go on my YouTube and you could watch the video of the HFT running on the $200,000 prop firm account that I traded and then did a withdrawal from, and some of the other joking Instagram videos I made about it. Guess which one it is. Rejected the withdrawal on the basis of me not following a rule. The rule was a consistency rule. They screwed me over and scammed me. You could say a scam on this one in 2 different ways. One, in that they changed the rule after I bought the challenge. So how can you possibly follow rules if you don't know they exist? They changed the rule. They didn't alert anyone outside of on their frequently asked page, not even on the main page of where they lay out all their rules. So to me, it's absolutely impossible to follow rules if they could change at any given time throughout your trading, and that you don't know they change, and you've already been trading a certain way and now they change the rule and you fail or you don't get your payout. Second, the way they applied the rule is unlike anything I expected and makes it absolutely impossible, in my opinion, to ever receive a payout. And I'll describe this. If I'm boring you guys, fucking, tune off. But this shit is bonkers to me, and it's important to know. They had a consistency rule, right? They call these rules consistency rules. HFT firms have them. Other prop firms have them. I'll answer the next question that popped up. The way they applied this consistency rule, it was a 50% consistency rule, and it said something along the lines of, I'd have to reread it, and I'm sure it changed 10 times anyway, but it was like 50%, no single trade can be 50% or more of your the profits on your account as you're trading to a payout. I interpreted that as no single trade could be 50% or more of the total profit on your account, not of the profit that you're ending up requesting. They changed that rule to be 33%, which makes it even tighter. Now you can't have any trade that's even 1/3, because even if you're at 33%, you're breaking the rule. It's got to be below it. But the way that it was applied, for example, is, let's say I trade the account, I have wins and losses. I get, for example's sake, let's say $4,000. I forget what the actual number was, $4,000. When I have that profit of $4,000, they discredit any of the way that you took trades to get to that profit. And they don't take into account that none of the trades out of all of your profit on that account were 33% or even 50%. They just look at whatever the biggest trade is, they take that and they put that on your profit that you're above the break-even level with, and say that none of those trades can be more than 33% of the total profit you're requesting. I don't know if that fully makes sense. But in order to be able to trade with wins and losses and trade into profit and ensure that no single trade will ever be more than 1/3 of the amount of the total profit that you're requesting, to me makes it near impossible. Not impossible. People can do it. If you pass the account and you have 4 trades that are of equal size and immediate wins, you'll get a payout. Great. There's also a payout cap, and there's also a trade stacking rule that would prevent you from taking more than 2 positions in the same direction on any pair. So you can't break up your trades in a way that would allow you to make sure that you don't have one that's too big. So I don't know what that balloon shit was on my screen, so apologies for that. I guess it's animations or something. I gotta turn that off. But anyway, I'm rambling on about this, but I'm trying to break it down for you guys. it's extremely difficult, in my opinion, to get payouts from majority of those Forex prop firms, especially the HFT ones that have those types of rules. The way that they're applied is absolutely bonkers to me, and ensure that you don't get a payout, in my opinion. So what was the last piece of that? I disputed it with them. They rejected the payout. Long conversations with their terrible support. I said, just refund me, man. You guys changed the rule. I had already traded it. I didn't stand a chance. You could change the rule anytime. Just refund me the amount. I already traded it into profit. You couldn't have possibly sustained any drawdown or loss on this challenge. I traded into quadruple whatever the profit was, the price of the account. Just refund me. They said, go screw yourself. So I would recommend against that. Really against that. Again, if you have a question on that, shoot me a DM, shoot me an email, man. I try to save you the trouble, but read the rules and, expect them to be applied in a way. Thanks for the explanation. Yeah, no problem. In a way that is the strictest way you can think of. You may have already answered, I trade Forex, we're looking to get into futures because of the landscape I watch every day. Yeah, all good, man. Yeah, the $50,000 prop firm account is on my Instagram. The rules are right on that post. I just posted another reel about it today, so you can see what's going on. Yeah, I see the higher high. It'll be announced everywhere. I'll throw it in the Telegram too, all that kind of stuff. But I'm just gonna pick a comment essentially. People commented a bunch of times. Only one entry per person, so that's the deal with that. But yeah, man, it's going to be a futures account. Again, highly recommend futures, especially if you're in the US, not financial advice, just because of the changing landscape of the Forex market. Even without prop firms, the leverage that's available, the commission, the spreads, the tax implications, all of that stuff. I wish I found futures a lot sooner, honestly. So yeah, again, I was watching this as I was speaking. This blows, right? Would have been a nice trade. Cut this one a little short. Got tapped out at break even. We came above this high, broke above it. Really slow trickle towards the end of the day. It didn't turn from here. At this point, I'm no longer looking for any kind of sell since we're above this high. Not a massive move like I would have liked to seen anyway, but that's just that's the risk you run, bringing stop loss to break even as your trade's in profit. My entry was somewhere above this zone, somewhere up here, but we likely would have hit a 1-to-1 85, and yeah, we would have been over 1-to-1. 1-to-1 really doesn't do it for me either, man. I need to see the nice push above, but had the direction right, had the entry right, was just a little bit conservative on risk on this one. So just gonna let that one ride. Most of the Forex prop firm have idiotic rules. Tried a few of them also, and until now, I got 2 of them which are okay. Yeah, man, crazy rules. Like if I had to make some statement about it, I'm guessing like the bigger ones are gonna be a little bit better, a little bit clearer. But everything that I've seen from the Forex prop firm industry just is screams scam. And that they are really intending you to not make money. It's not that they're hard, and they should be hard, but they do not provide a good landscape for anyone. And to watch the biggest names in the industry, like let's say FTMO was probably number 1, and my Forex funds when they were around were probably number 2, completely go by the wayside for US traders. One, just straight up disappear and rob everybody, including me, of their money as they were in the middle of a $300,000 challenge that they were getting close to passing. That was my situation with my Forex funds. Or just, wrap it up for US traders. That to me says, you got to get out of there. Not going to work out. Not a good long-term solution. Let's figure out something else. Again, along with that, the CFD thing, the MetaTrader licenses being, ripped away, and then just really the force to use, regulated spot Forex that don't provide good leverage, that the spreads are high on, so I can operate with some of them, and I have, you can see it on my charts, but futures for, U.S. indices and almost everything else is a great alternative so far for me specifically. not financial advice, just my experience so far. And the funded accounts, the companies that provide funding, seem like they're a lot more legitimate. They've been around for a long period of time, the big names. They don't change rules. If they do, it seems like it's almost in the direction of the trader, but they don't change rules frequently at all from what I've seen so far. There's no horror stories from people. If you're losing accounts, it's usually on your own accord. They operate with regulated brokers, something that's completely different than the Forex world, the way they operate. The futures prop firms, you pick the broker, the regulated broker that you're going to trade with, and then you sign up in that broker with the account that you're going to trade with, and you trade directly from the regulated, centralized, market data that everybody else in the world is trading with. That's how the futures market works. There's not a broker, this BS unregulated broker that's providing data that the prop firm is using. So it's just a completely different way of doing things. Seems like a lot better situation. So again, glad I found it when I did. Wish I found it earlier, but I'll always share, if I'm not doing that, what am I doing on here? My experience with this different type of stuff. I will say, individual brokers and, that type of stuff, it's individual to the person. Everybody's going to be different. If you're in a different area than me, different country, you're going to have different rules, regulations, the way taxes work. So, nobody can even really make a non-financial advice suggestion. I can just provide my opinion, tell you where I'm at and what's been working for me or not working for me. So, hey Zach, currently out, just stopping in. What's going on, my man? Good to see you again. Thanks for jumping back on. Yeah, man. Had some good trades earlier on NASDAQ. Oh, we're looking at Dow with those numbers. Yeah, I was staring at NASDAQ today. Just the price action early on was a little bit better to me than the Dow. I like trading NASDAQ if I can. I'm probably going to get stuck with it. Like I said, I don't have a real reason why. It's just feels like the big boy index to trade. So I'm going to do my best to stick with it. The sizing's pretty gnarly when it comes to futures. But yeah, 38. We're looking at 38,300 and 38,550. Yeah, it might be different again if you're looking at my levels. The CFD market's going to have a completely different, scale. Every broker is going to be different. This is going to be the centralized, futures deal that you could find. But yeah, Dow was interesting, man. Big pullback down, support. This could have been a nice trade right here, finding some support, higher lows getting put in, breaking highs, and then a run all the way back up. NASDAQ staged it a lot quicker than Dow. Didn't pull back like this, kind of just chopped around, pulled back a little bit into the range, and then blasted up. But yeah, man, our friend Dow didn't do too bad today. Trending down where NASDAQ is kind of still pushing up. Yeah, got in for one, stopped out at break even on this. You can go back and watch it after, skip through if you like. Entry somewhere right around here. Right, guys, I'm not exactly sure what the number was. Somewhere right around here. If I go back and look at the orders, I can see it. Stop loss was originally down here. Moved it up as we moved up into profit and got stopped out before it pushed back up. Not a huge win. Probably honestly would have been ended up closing at this high with this really slow price action. So maybe I would have got that 1-to-1. $800, $900, something like that. Sucks giving up a win after moving your stop loss, but again, that's just that's the nature of it, man. That's how it happens. But yeah, this was some gnarly price action from NASDAQ. I'm zoomed out on it, but some serious opportunity to take trades. I mean, just this in the morning was pretty solid to trade. Read it fairly well, saw it push up on news, big push. Didn't really continue, was looking at this structure. Here's the pullback. Would have wanted to see this, kind of like what I was describing up here. Would have wanted to see this continue. It didn't. High wicks to the upside and then candles to the downside. I think I took two different sells on this on the way down and then a buy on the way back up. Worked out really nice. Had I hold this one, this would have been a gnarly trade. but, was taking a little bit more, again, especially on NASDAQ, of the scalping approach, positive risk to reward, but, holding trades the best you can, but not going for home runs. Otherwise, you're taking a really low win rate, a lot of stop outs. But this is definitely the home run that you're looking for. So coming into that final 10 minutes of NYSE session, I'm not looking at another one, honestly, on this, guys. We pushed up, broke above this high. Now it's showing a little bit of weakness. We'll have to see. Got in, made like 3%, but done a trailing stop loss. Kissed the trailing, so I ain't mad about it. I'll do my homework once I get home tonight. Tune in. Cool, man. Cool. Yeah. Enjoy the weekend. Yeah, man. No problem. Thanks for jumping on, brother. I'll see you. I'll be doing this again. I'll give you guys the early schedule. Friday afternoon, last hour, kind of like not a great time to trade in my opinion, so I'm probably not going to be doing it every Friday, but I am planning on doing it tentatively at least Monday to Wednesday next week. Monday to Wednesday, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, free live trading on YouTube. That's my game plan. Traveling, going to some awesome tropical destination next week. Benefits of being your own boss, and even if you weren't your own boss, you could take your PTO. Well, I won't even BS about it. So, yeah, but I'm out of the away from the charts for Thursday, Friday, and then Monday, Tuesday of the following week. So, let's say Monday to Wednesday, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, live on YouTube for free trading. A little bit of volatility come in. I'm gonna watch it, and I'm not gonna get out of here first. I'm not gonna get out of here yet. I'm gonna watch it. We'll see. A little bit of volatility coming in. A little bit of push off. Again, not a huge push up. This was the pullback, and I would have wanted to see this continue. Chopped up here. Just describing price action and market structure. What I see. Broke above this high a little bit. Pulling back with some force. Maybe just wants to tap into this area right here. Kind of create this little trend line that we're seeing. I'm not a big trend line guy, but my eyes are trained to see what's happening on the chart, so I'm aware of stuff that's not completely horizontal lining up on the chart. But I think it might want to come back down, and I really think that this is going to trail back down overnight. I don't see this just look at the 1 hour. Yeah, it might, man. I mean, this could be the start of the next big move up if we're gonna get one. Really big move to not see any type of pullback on the 1 hour. Maybe we consolidate and we see tomorrow be the big move up or down. But I think there's a chance that this trails back down towards, the session of the day, the main point of volume, maybe down towards prior candle open. But we are closing. I mean, we're closing the session out at least above prior day high. We're trading above prior day high now. We're looking at the daily. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Here's your high. Here's your low. Here's your body, high and low, your open and close. So big candle to the upside. So we shall see. Just want to wait and see if we get like some kind of big sell-off that starts right here. But I might jump back on, and again, I got a couple accounts rolling now, so it's fun to have just some different stuff set up for testing some things. I'm not a big indices swing trader. It's not really my deal. I focus on it for intraday stuff, and I wouldn't want to have an account where I'm holding a big trade and then trying to trade intraday. Can't really do that if I'm trading a single indice with one account rather. But got a couple, so maybe I mess around with some overnight stuff. Lower risk, wider stop. But yeah, man, if you guys are still hanging on, let me know if you see anything you want me to look at. If you're looking at a chart, man, you call it out. Hey, check out, Euro USD or GBP, JPY. Let me know. Happy to look at it. I try to give the people what they want, man. You're on here spending time with me. I know it's free, but I'm giving you my time to talk about obviously what I'm trading here. But if I'm not actively taking a trade or feeling like I'm going to get one, I don't mind opening it up and looking at some other stuff. I'm not going to go back through all the Forex stuff. It's been getting repetitive, so I'll just when I'm ready to wrap up, I'll leave it. But if you got any questions, you want to see anything specific, let me know, man. You want to talk about the triple EMA crossover super trend strategy? I'm happy to, man. I'll show you all about that. That's a joke. That's a joke, man. Take the training wheels off. Delete those indicators from your charts, boys and girls. You don't need them. Free yourself. I thought of another good book. I was talking about a couple good books. Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. Best Loser Wins by Tom Hogard. And I think I talked about Think and Grow Rich. Old book, not a trading book, just a good mindset book. But another good trading book, if you want to wean yourself off of indicators, is Naked Forex. Naked Forex. Forget the name of the guys. I think it's two people that it's by. I've listened to it a couple times over. The first half of it is the important part. The first maybe third of it is the important part. Makes a really strong case for trading on naked charts, not using indicators. Towards the middle part and the end of the book, if I'm remembering correctly, they go through a lot of different strategies. Can be helpful. They talk about different ways to use price action and market structure to trade and to structure risk, different levels, different zones. But essentially, the whole book is based around deleting everything from your chart. That price action and market structure is going to tell you everything you need to know to trade. Indicators are lagging. Price is going to tell you what the hell it's doing because it's literally printing right on your chart. You can trade off that. Horizontal levels, they talk about using those. Multiple time frame analysis can help. All those different things can help, but it's a good book that makes the case for it. If you want, if you want some extra confidence that you should probably delete the RSI and the MACD and the Stoch and the auto Fibonacci tool and the Gann box and the Elliott wave and the super trend and the Bollinger Bands. I know them all, man, too. I'll we could talk about them, but yeah, not it. But yeah, Naked Forex, good book to read if you want another one. The strategy stuff kind of feels a little bit like ICT, Smart Money Concepts-ish, not in what they're doing, but in the sense of them like renaming candlesticks. Like, do we have to come up with 1,000 different names for 1,000 different candlesticks? And that kind of like a lot of them are the same thing. We got to call them a special name. I think one of them was like kangaroo tail or like, all this type of kiss or this and this. Break and retest, man. Just call it a fucking break and retest. So, some of that is a little bit rough, but valid stuff, worth reading through and looking. They have like a lot of charts in the book too. So, again, I think a lot of different aspects go into profitable trading. One is going to be technical analysis. I think it's actually the easiest piece. Risk management, another big piece. How you're going to journal, how you're going to have your entire trading plan, the time of the day you're going to trade, how many trades a day you're going to take, some guidelines, some guardrails of how you're going to trade, if not a hard, written in stone strategy. And then the last and arguably the most important piece to profitable trading, because you can't do it even if you have all of the other pieces, is your psychology, your mindset, your understanding of what it means to think in probabilities. You're not only your understanding, but your ability to think in probabilities and to be able to operate in this uncertain space that we operate in. Very, very, very important. If you got questions on that, man, you want more recommendations, some practices, some stuff to work on, books to read, I'm happy to let you know for free. Enjoy the weekend. I will, brother. I will. Oh, maybe did I read that already? Or no, someone edited or deleted something. That's why it popped. Yeah, man. On that note, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thanks for jumping on, guys. 4:00, end of NYSE session. hop in the free Telegram, do the sign up if you want to. If not, I don't care. Or if you don't want to hop in the free Telegram, I don't care. Jump on here if you feel like it, or not. I'll put my stuff out there, and if you find it valuable or so valuable that you want to look for even more help, I'm happy to provide that, man. But anyway, thank you for being here. Thanks for watching the session. Break even, one trade, stopped out at break even. Be back on next week. Maybe we'll get some big stuff. Kind of slow this week, but we'll stay at it. So I will see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. I'll also see you in Telegram. I'll be talking, and I'll see you tomorrow for the 50K account giveaway. Talk to you guys then. Thanks for joining.